Want to get cheat sheets, audiobooks, lessons, apps, and much more every month for free? Just click the link in the description to get your free language gifts of the month.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alisha, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. Okay, let's get to your first question this week. First question this week comes from Hamza. Hi Hamza. Hamza says, hello Alisha. Thank you so much for your great efforts. My question, how do I tell time in informal speech? Okay, the simplest way is just to say it's number plus number, so two numbers. If, however, you're at the top of the hour, which means like the minute hand and the hour hand are at the top of the clock, then you can just say it's plus number, like it's 12 or it's 6 or it's 7. So for example, you could say it's 2:45 or it's 6:15 or it's 8. This is the simplest way to describe the time, to share the time in informal speech. It's not necessarily more formal to use expressions like quarter till or quarter after or half past and so on. It's not more formal to do that. It's just a different way of expressing it. So please feel free to use those expressions like it's a quarter after 2 or it's a quarter till 6. Those are fine. You can use those. I will say, however, that we don't use o'clock very much. We don't really say like 7 o'clock that much. We tend to just say it's 7 or it's 8. Again, it's not incorrect to use these by any means. You can totally use them. Feel free to use them. But I would say the most direct way to tell the time is just to say it's plus the number. So I hope that this helps you. Thanks for the question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Chris. Hi, Chris. Chris says, hi, Alisha. I would like to know what "that's that sorted" means. This may be more common in British English. I tried to Google it, but I can't find its meaning. Can you please explain? Thanks. Sure, we can talk about it. So first, let's take a look at the word sorted. So sorted comes from, originally, the expression sorted out. So as you mentioned, this is more commonly used in British English. So sorted out, or to sort something out, means to take care of something. Usually like to solve a problem or like to finish a task or like take care of some kind of challenging or difficult activity. So sorted comes from sorted out. So even though we're using just sorted here, it still keeps that same meaning of to take care of something, sorted. So let's add one word here. So that's sorted means that task is sorted, or that task is taken care of, or I took care of that task. Then we add this that's to the beginning of this. So that's that sorted. So that's refers to a situation, like, okay, by doing this or through this situation, that task was taken care of. So this may be easier to understand if we have a situation. Let's imagine you need to give a report to your boss, and the report has some negative information in it. So you don't really want to do it, but it's your responsibility. So you go meet with your boss, you share the information. After the meeting, you tell your coworker, well, that's that sorted, which means that task has been taken care of, or with this action, that task has been taken care of. So that's that sorted is a, as you said, kind of British way to express this feeling. So I hope that this helps you. Thanks for an interesting question. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Next question comes from Raya Akaputra. Hi, Raya. Raya says, what are the differences among perhaps, probably, and maybe? Okay, let's talk about probably first. We use probably to refer to actions that have a very high chance of happening, like 80% or so. We often use probably with future tense expressions with like will or going to. Like, I'll probably go jogging tonight, or we'll probably watch a movie later, or we're probably going to go to the beach this weekend. So we're expressing a high chance of something with probably. Perhaps and maybe, on the other hand, refer to something that just has a chance of happening. We're very unsure about that thing. In terms of meaning, these two are the same. They have the same meaning, but perhaps sounds more formal than maybe. We use maybe in everyday speech. We use perhaps in like writing, for example. If you want to write a more formal letter, you want to sound a little bit more polite, you might use perhaps. You can also use perhaps in speech too, to sound a little bit more polite. But again, these have the same meaning meaning. They just sound a little bit different in terms of their formality. So, some examples. Perhaps we can talk about this next week. Maybe we can discuss this after lunch. Okay, so I hope that this helps you understand the differences between probably, maybe, and perhaps. Thanks for the question. Okay, let's move on to your next question. Next question comes from Sovan. Hi, Sovan. Sovan says, I have a question about these two sentences. Should I say, I went to the store this morning, or I went to the store last morning? I'm wondering if this can be used with past tense. Yeah, nice question. We use this before morning, afternoon, and evening with those time of day expressions, like this morning, this afternoon, this evening. We can also use it with future tense expressions, like future tense time of day expressions. We can also use it with like future week or day or month expressions too. We do not, however, use last with time of day expressions. We don't say last morning or last afternoon or last evening. Instead, when we're talking about the day before, we just use yesterday, like yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening. So when you're talking about today, something that happened today, and you want to talk about something from that day's morning, use this. Make sure you use this. In contrast then, you can use last when you're talking about almost any other time period. So you can use this with a day of the week, like last Monday, last Tuesday. You can use it with a weekend, last weekend. You can use it with a month, like last month, like that. Or you can use it with the name of a month, last April, last September. You can use it with years, last year, or decades, last decade if you want to for some reason. But we use this when we're talking about a time period in the day, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and we also will use this to talk about future time periods. To know the difference, we just depend on the context. We look at the context clues to understand if it's a sentence or an expression about something that happened that day or something in the future. So I hope that this helps you. Thanks for the question. Okay, let's move on to our next question. Next question comes from Samuel. Hi, Samuel. Samuel says, how do I improve spelling? Read. Reading is the most important thing you can do, I think, to improve your spelling. So especially with English, English words are often not spelled the way that they sound. And so reading words in books will help you to identify over time the correct way to spell a variety of different words and a variety of different sounds as well. So think of it not just as reading like one word at a time and memorizing the way that that one word is spelled, which sometimes is useful. As you read, you'll start to identify or you'll start to find patterns in the ways certain sounds are spelled. So over time, you'll start to notice some things are spelled similarly, some things are just totally irregular. But one thing that you can do that will really, really help your spelling is read. The other thing you can do is write. So after you read, make sure you spend some time writing those words. So writing will help things stick a little bit better in your brain. Take the time maybe to write a note or to write something down, write an idea down that uses that word. So just make sure that you practice reading and writing. This will help you with your spelling. I hope that this helps you. Thanks very much for the question. Okay, that is everything that I have for this week. Thank you, as always, for sending your questions. Remember, you can send them to me at englishclass101.com/ask-Alisha. Of course, if you like this lesson, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and check us out at englishclass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this week's episode of Ask Alisha, and I will see you again next week. Bye-bye.